kids. My kids are with me half the time or more. And rather than tell you about the benefits, I did bring pictures. And I want you to go through and look at these pictures and think about, these only represent a fraction of the time that I have had with my kids. And all of these memories would be taken away from them if I had not had that time with them. I've also included the power of attorney, and I'm going to have Nancy Lazarian speak for me, and I do approve of the content.
Hello, I'm appearing here as a member of the sovereign people of the state of Minnesota, and in that capacity I'm appearing in proprietary persona as the sovereign. Most of you here are part of the artificial entity, the government that we the people created, and so I speak to you as your employer. I'm asking for a paradigm shift right now. We've been hearing all the consequences, all the problems, all the chaos that's been perpetrated upon us by actually our own actions as the people violating our natural law. And the question that the legislature has brought to this study group is to determine how a presumption of joint custody would affect the people of the state. The question was brought because of the pressure of the people to require that our family law statutes finally comply with natural law, and for the legislature to codify that which is already contained in our natural law and our common law. To those unfamiliar with law, you must first understand natural law. There is a creator that made all of this. There are certain laws which this creation operates by. I don't care if you're an atheist, you still accept and comply with natural law. You do not go out and jump in that lake and breathe water. You know that there are certain natural laws that we must comply with. In our constitutions, we the people secure to ourselves those unalienable rights that are contained in the unalienable law. There's a series of building blocks. Natural law is the foundation. Common law rests upon natural law. Our constitutions sit upon our natural law and our common law, and then come the statutes and the court rules and the regulations and the ordinances. You have been asked to evaluate the consequences of the presumption of joint custody. Natural law already contains that, as every parent has the right to custody of his or her child. Our Constitution secures the rights of people of custody of their children under liberty, and even under the 9th Amendment of the Federal Constitution. The United States Supreme Court has repeatedly declared the rights of parents being a liberty interest secured by our Constitution. The stare decisis of Troxel versus Granville clearly affirms that it is an unalienable right. The custody of parents over the children is a protected liberty interest. You have been asked to study what will happen if we comply with our constitutions. What will happen if we obey the law? Justice. Justice for those who are parents. Justice for those who are children. Justice for those who have been beaten and assaulted. We have already declared we secured our right to custody of our children under the Liberty Clause and under the 9th Amendment. We already declared to be secure in our persons and that no one would assault and beat us. What the government has done is it has covered for the criminals. Instead of holding people accountable for their actions, it has created loopholes, programs, and study groups. When someone has been assaulted, we the people declare the assault is a violation of our law, and the perpetrator must be brought before a jury. An assault upon one of us is an assault upon all of us. There's a fallacy that is being sold to us. That fallacy is domestic violence, domestic abuse. Even the police dread going to a call to investigate a fight between a woman and a man. A barroom brawl is preferred to going to somebody's home where a man and woman are fighting. When a married couple with children file for dissolution of that marriage, they enter the courtroom with their liberty rights intact. Accordingly, they each have 100% right to parent and to custody of their children. But the court is told that this marriage, this contract between the parties, is to be dissolved. Property and liberty interests are at stake. Because the interests at stake are secured by our Constitution, the action is at law, meaning only a jury can decide. And so I will wrap up with this, and I want you to say one thing to our legislature, and one thing only. The presumption of joint custody is already contained within the law. Stop violating the law and uphold the law of the people secured in our constitutions. We won't have domestic violence. We won't have all this mess that we have. What we want is our law upheld.